Hey, what's up guys? 13 Fire God here with a quick deck tech of one of my own custom made decks. So I made this deck when I first started playing Standard back in summer of 2014 right before cons came out, and I fell in love with red green over the course of basically like a couple weeks, and I really enjoyed it. I actually still have the old school one, but I'm not even going to talk about that one. That one's way too old for me. Anyway, and I decided that I would continue the red green deck because my friend always said, "Oh, you never stick with a deck. You always just switch up your decks. That's why you're not as good as you could be." And so I stuck with this deck. I tried to stay with back when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I stuck with about 4 decks, and those decks I could go 6 months without playing and still play it as if I just looked at it yesterday. And so that's what I did with this red green deck. I made it my own. And it's a red green blood rush trample. Not really. It's mainly a red green trample aggro. Kill you by turn 4 on average because I'll have you down to like 6 or 5 8 life left after it. So let's go over it real quick. The land, I'm going to have 20 land general, 6 basic forests, 6 basic mountains, 4 Kerplusen forests from different sets, and then 4 stomping grounds. The stomping grounds just do it greatly. They help so much. The Kerplusen forests, if you get like 2 of them in hand and you have like a mountain in hand, it really sucks because you don't have any forests, you don't have any stomping grounds, nothing to get you that green mana, which is basically the whole deck, as you can see right here. Anyway, but this has proven to be really useful in general, and it works for me. Let's go over the creature base real quick for the. Well, actually, let's just go by converted cost. Um, so for the 1 drops, we have Elvish Mystic because Elvish Mystic is Elvish Mystic. It helps to ramp up the deck. It's a ramping aggro deck. So, and then you have Burning Tree Emissaries. When it enters the battlefield, add a red and green to your mana pool. It basically, I combine that with like a Zerda Druid, so I get like 2 of these in hand. I play both, and then I play Zerda Druid. I have 3 creatures on board by turn 2, and it really helps a lot. And then I also have Colossal Might, which is one of the most underrated commons I've ever seen in my life. No one expects this when I play this deck. It's a 1 red, 1 green. Target creature gets +4/+2 and gains trample till the end of the turn. So you play a Burning Tree Emissary on turn 2. You swing for 2. They block it. Becomes a 6/4 with trample. They don't block it. 6/4 with trample still. And then Zerda Druid, whenever it tap it for mana, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. That is amazing in Commander. You have 4 of these out, 4 damage to each opponent every single time. Or if you're playing 2-headed giant, deal 2 damage each turn for each one. And then for 3 drops, I have Domri Raid and Fanatic of Xenagos. Fanatic of Xenagos because it's either going to be a 4/4 with Trample forever, or a 4/4 with Trample and Haste for a turn, and then a 3/3 with Trample still. And I can still buff it up with Colossal Might, so on turn 5 I could do Fanatic of Xenagos and then Colossal Might if they give it haste. And then Domri Raid because Domri Raid is the red-green god that we all pray to, in a sense. It's like when people pray to Shrek, because Shrek is love, Shrek is life. He's the same idea. I'm not going to go into him. It's way too much information. For 4 drops, we have quite the variety. It's actually really unique. We have 4 Boartusk Lieges, 2 Gore-Clan Rampagers, 2 Polish Crushers, 1 Sarkhan Vol, and 2 Xenagos the Reveler. The reason I chose Boartusk Liege is because I decided to go through planeswalkerslibraries.com, which is a really good website for anything you need to look for specifically. And I was looking at cards that were red and green from any set that wasn't Theros and up. Theros to now. So I looked at every single card. Common, uncommon, rare, mythic, I didn't care. And I looked at every card to see if there's any hybrid like red-green cards that I would find. This card did it for me. It's a 1 colorless, 3 red or green for a 3/4 with trample. That's really good stats already. It's a 4 mana 3/4 with trample. You're getting your mana cost already. That's nice. Other red creatures you control get +1/+1. Other green creatures you control get +1/+1. Now back it up real quick. You drop Fanatic Xenagos, you drop a Zerd Druid, and you drop an Elvish Mystic. Let's say you just do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. You just do it with all mana, you have exact mana ramp. It's perfect, it's great, it's awesome. This becomes a 2/2. This becomes a 3/3. This becomes a 5/5 without the counter, if it had haste. If it doesn't, then it becomes a 6/6 with just one of these. You have 4 of these out. You're done. It's over. They can't win because you'll have there's so much trample in this deck that it's insane. Gorklan Rampager, because a 4/4 for 4 mana with trample and then Blood Rush for 2. That's amazing. There's still a little bit of Blood Rush from back in the day, but not too much. Polish Crusher, because Polish Crusher is a 4/4 for 4 with trample protection from enchantments. It helps against any kind of control decks, but at the same time, it also can destroy a Nyx Fleece Ram, of course, or a Crewfix, etc. It's really good in standard. It's really good in general. And then then Sarkon Ball. I had 2 of them in here, but I decided that one was just going to be good. His +1, put 1 creatures you control get 1/1 and gain haste, and then -2 gain control of target creature to the end of the turn, basically act of treason, and then -6 put 5 4/4 dragon creature tokens with flying onto the battlefield. Basically, it's a win condition that, to be honest, I've actually never drawn. I've never drawn this guy. I haven't drawn him in the past 2 months. I forgot he was in my deck. Maybe I got rid of him. I don't remember, but overall, he's still a really good win condition if I draw into him, in which, as you'll see in the next video, or next card, Xenagos the Reveler, you can actually draw quite a bit. Exile top 7 cards of your library. You may put any number of creatures and or land cards from among them onto the battlefield. So you basically dig through timing 7 cards and playing any cards in this deck except for Colossal Might. Yeah. You can play everything but that and the Shamanic Revelation. That's it. And then we have Blitz Hellion, 3 of them. Now, it's only a 30-cent rare, and I can see why that, because it's a 5 mana, 7/7 with trample and haste. That's just, like, what the fuck are you doing? At the end of the turn, Blitz Hellion's owner shuffles it into his or her library. And so, that's the only downside to it. However, let's say I get an Elvish Mystic and then Zerd Druid, and I still have 2 land out from that, like a forest and a mountain, and then I have this and this. Turn 5, I play another forest, I can get it out. Turn 3, a 7/7 with trample and haste. You're not going to have something that can block all 7 damage, unless you have a spell that says prevent all damage from this creature or something. But it's just a really scary card for this deck. Shamanic Revelation for the draw. I realized that I did not have enough draw in this deck other than Xenagos, and so I concluded that I needed something. Hey look, Fate Reforged. Draw a card for each creature you control. I think I'm going to have quite a few creatures out. It's just a thought, but... Oh look, you gain 4 life for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So let's see. Just base stats. 1, 2. Well, and then... Okay, 3. Basically, there's like 3 or 4 creatures that can be power 4 or greater in general. But with buffs, it's like, this thing is just going to be insane. Stonebroke Frozen Hero. I only run 2 because too much draws too much. Stonebroke Frozen Hero, it's 3 colorless, 2, red and green for a 4/4 with trample. Alright. Whenever a creature you control with trample attacks, it gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. Just soak that in for a second. Trample. 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 No trample here. That's it. But everything except Hornet Queen and Elvish Mystic in these few mana ramps have trample. So I think this might be really useful. It's only 2 of them because I thought 4 would be just overkill, honestly. Plus it's self-pumpable. So it could be a 5 mana 6/6 with trample. And then lastly, Hornet Queen, because Hornet Queen's just a really good save yourself or buff it up with Colossal Might just to get some extra damage in. Anyway, this is the mana ramp. As you can see, it's mainly green, but it's also red. Um, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have any questions about the deck, let me know. I can answer any questions. I will answer any questions on YouTube as quick as I can. I check YouTube every day, quite a few times a day. So, hope you guys enjoy.